Hello everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good tonight. We're going to be talking about lots of entertainment. Most news, unfortunately, not very good. A little bit of negativity here and there, but that's okay. Weekly discussion stream. Lots of entertainment, actually, now that I realize it. Well, some weeks it's gaming heavy, some weeks it's entertainment heavy. So tonight, we're going to be talking about Superman? Did I add a D at the end? Superman and Lois. Good news and bad news. So the good news is that the show so far has been pretty good, at least in my opinion. I don't know how many of you have been watching the show, but so far I've enjoyed it. I've thought it was pretty good. The first 2 episodes were decent. The 3rd episode came out today? Question mark. Today's Tuesday, right? Yes. I haven't watched the latest episode yet, but there's also some bad news regarding the show because unfortunately, even though it's a good show so far, and the ratings have been very good for it, they are putting it on pause. They are delaying the show because, unfortunately, of COVID-related delays. Basically, they need more time to finish the rest of the season, so they're going to be airing Stupid Girl in its spot for a couple of weeks for the 6 episodes for the final season that Stupid Girl is going to have. Unfortunately, they're putting a good show on delay to air a bad show, but it's not just because they decided to do it out of the blue. Unfortunately, it is because of COVID delays. We're going to be talking about WandaVision and the final episode of WandaVision / my kind of wrap-up thoughts on WandaVision Season 1. I'll give you guys a spoiler warning when we get to the discussion, because that'll probably be the second topic I discuss. But WandaVision's finale, you know, I don't want to say it was the worst show ever, but I really felt like the finale was lacking. And I thought that the show started off pretty strong in my opinion, and I feel like the show overall was pretty decent. But I just feel like the ending, the finale, was kind of lackluster. I was expecting more, and unfortunately, Marvel only went halfway. Marvel said we're gonna go halfway, but we're definitely not gonna give fans exactly what they want. So we'll talk about that. I want to talk about Women's Day. Cringe is unfortunately the best word I can think of. I hate using that word. The word cringe literally makes me cringe. But that's the word I have to use. We're going to be talking about Star Wars sharing their support for Women's Day, International Women's Day. Of course, only a couple of weeks after they fired Gina Carano.
Making sure the donation notifications
work. Thank you so much for the $26 donation, Warren. Thank you. But Star Wars fans have, of course, been sharing their support for Gina Carano on Star Wars official Facebook page post for International Women's Day. Lucasfilm and Star Wars Disney is never going to live down the fact that they fired Gina Carano. I personally think it was a really dumb move of them to do, and they decided to do it, and here we are. It's been weeks since they fired Gina Carano, and the backlash ending is nowhere in sight, and good. I mean, honestly, companies should see what fans can really do when fans care passionately about something. Unfortunately for them, I don't think the backlash is going to go away anytime soon. And I also wanted to talk about something that was like announced today / brought to attention today, I guess you could say. So Twitch may be adding a brand safety score for streamers, and obviously I'm not a Twitch streamer. I don't plan to become a Twitch streamer. I hope I'm never gonna be a Twitch streamer. Who knows? I never say never. I say that with everything. But a cybersecurity researcher actually found evidence of a change somewhere in Twitch's internal API. But I wanted to talk about the situation not only because it sounds stupid, but the more you look into it, the more you realize, unfortunately, YouTube has a very similar system in place because this is from 2 years ago. YouTube's publicly available code reveals important information, including Peace score and more, creators found out. So those are the topics we're going to be discussing tonight. Hello, everyone. I hope that your evening is going well. Hi, guys. When is International Men's Day? Like November. Okay, Oron said it, November 19th. I thought it was in November, yeah. No one celebrates International Men's Day. Men, psh, who needs them, right? That's the attitude of half the people on the internet. Hello from the UK. Hello, hello. Yeah, Twitch isn't a platform I'd ever say I want to not exist, because obviously there's tons of creators on Twitch, and people do make a living on Twitch, and it's a way for people to be able to create content the way that they want to create it, and it's a platform for people who want to create dedicated live streaming content. Unfortunately, I think that most of you guys understand, over the past couple of years, probably the past 2 years, Twitch has gotten really bad with how do I say this? Like, how biased they've become in a way. Twitch definitely doesn't implement their policies equally to everyone. And unfortunately, it sounds like for Twitch streamers, it's going to be even harder to get your content out there. And it sounds like Twitch streamers will have to go through more throttling situations, which is a shame. Unfortunately, YouTubers have been going through this for a long time, and it's not very surprising to hear that a platform like Twitch wants to implement things like safety scores and brand scores, and it's definitely not a good thing, that's for sure. I can't believe I only now just got WandaVision's name WandaVision. Really? No, you're joking. WandaVision, we'll talk about it in a little while, because I want to give a fair spoiler warning, but it definitely, it was okay. I don't know. I feel like there were really good elements to it that I personally liked, but then unfortunately, I felt like it just really went downhill. I just feel like the ending was all right. I felt like it was mediocre. I didn't feel like it was the best. I didn't feel like it was the worst, but I definitely think it could have been better. I like Twitch VTubers. VTubers are cool. I like watching virtual tubers, streamers, Twitchers, whatever you want to call them. I think that they're cool. They're interesting, unique, a new idea. I use Twitch as little as possible. Oh, no, I definitely agree. I don't use Twitch personally a lot, and I mean, I never stream on Twitch, and I don't plan to stream on Twitch. I have, like, a Twitch channel set up just in case anything ever happened to my YouTube channel, but, they definitely never accept me into their partner programs or anything. There's, like, affiliate and then partner. I'd probably never get into either. Unfortunately, Twitch just, yeah, the way that they handle situations isn't for me as a content creator. I'd rather keep my content away from there. That being said, though, again, like, I think that it's a good platform if you really want to create live stream content, and you could be in their good graces, which we've heard that females are always in their good graces, so maybe I actually do have a chance. I don't plan to go there anytime soon, though. Safety scores. Hold on, is Twitch going communist as well? Well, we're gonna talk about it, but Twitch is implementing a brand safety score for streamers, which sounds very scary and intimidating. And honestly, I think that it's a very dumb system, but YouTube has a very similar system as well. And they've had one since like 2019, at least, that we know of. So we'll have to see how it pans out. Hello. The WandaVision finale was guilty of reverting to just another MCU movie. The thing is that at the beginning of WandaVision, I felt like they were way outside of the box when it came to the Marvel, like, formula. I feel like there's a Marvel formula. And I was hoping and figuring that it would go in the direction of more of a mainline MCU movie or TV show. And I think that it did balance that well, where you've got, oh, it's just, you know, a normal Marvel movie or TV show. And then, oh, wow, this has, like, unique elements and unique aspects. So I definitely think that in that department, I was really pleased with it. I think that it actually did a relatively good job with that balance of, oh, hey, Marvel, but oh, hey, something unique and not, like, the past 20 million movies we've seen. So I don't think in that respect or regard it was bad. I just, the writing, yeah, the story, it was okay. Anyway, hello everyone. Why don't we get into the first topic in just a minute? Just dropping off work, dropping in real quick. Have a good one, everyone. Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. All right, guys, so let's get started with the first topic, which is going to be Superman and Lois. Now, I talked about the first 2 episodes last week. Maybe like a little bit of spoiler warning in case you haven't seen the first 2 or 3 episodes of Superman and Lois. I haven't seen the 3rd episode yet. The 3rd episode came out today. I haven't watched it yet, but I've only seen the first 2 episodes. Superman and Lois, the premiere was very strong. I personally was very impressed so far. Now, I was someone who was a big fan of the CW shows at first. I thought that the CW shows were actually pretty decent. Like, I was a big fan of The Flash at first. I was a big fan of Arrow at first. I'll even admit, the first half of the first season, the half of the first season of Supergirl, I really didn't think was that bad. Supergirl went downhill very, very quickly. Towards the end of the first season, it was pretty bad. And then, like, after the first season of Supergirl, it was terrible. But I feel like most of the CW shows at least start good. I feel like they start with a lot of hope, a lot of positivity. You think, wow, the CW is going to do a great job with this show, because most of these shows start off with decent-sized budgets for the first seasons. Arrow, Flash all started with pretty good budgets. Superman and Lois is starting with good budgets. And then, of course, we have CW shows like Batwoman that are absolutely terrible. There's no way that they could be saved at all whatsoever. But the CW wasn't always that way, in my opinion. I feel like, you know, I could get some enjoyment out of CW shows. And the first 2 episodes for Superman and Lois, view-wise, were actually very good, very positive. Not that bad. So Superman and Lois flies high in its CW debut. I did talk about this during my last discussion stream, but I figured I'd read the ratings really quickly. So it says, it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's Superman and Lois. The new CW superhero series flew up and away with its 90-minute series debut Tuesday in prime time. This was 2 weeks ago. With the pilot earning a 0.4 in the demo and a 1.71 million viewers, marking the largest audience for a DC series since the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover episode of The Flash on December 10th, 2019. Crisis on Infinite Earths again? Crisis on Infinite Earths, how do I say this? It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I feel like at the beginning it was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, oh my gosh, like I think this could be good. And then you just see the action scenes and you see the characters' awkward interactions, and it ended up not being very good. But its debut was very strong number-wise. It says Superman and Lois was also the second best CW premiere since the October 2019 debut of Batwoman. Batwoman at first people were hopeful for. A lot of us could tell Batwoman wasn't going to be very good just by the actress, just by Ruby Rose and kind of the comments she was making about it. but there was still hope in it, and I don't blame people for having hope in a new TV show or movie. I don't blame you guys for having hope in it. It's just, if you were really hopeful for Batwoman, well, maybe don't set your expectations so high. Thank you for the $10 donation, Christopher. Much appreciated. But it says last night's series premiere matched the Nielsen Live Plus same-day fast affiliate demo of the debut of Walker, which drew 2.43 million viewers on January 21st, sparking the network's most-watched Thursday primetime since 2018. A second 30-minute Superman and Lois episode followed the debut, and elsewhere in primetime, it goes on to talk about This Is Us. It dipped in numbers. Young Rock dipped 0.2 in the demo from last week's premiere. So as you can see, unfortunately, television in general just kind of is down right now more than it usually is, and let's be honest, TV is very pick or choose. Sometimes the shows do great, sometimes the shows don't do great. But as you can see, the viewers for Superman and Lois's debut was actually pretty strong. 0.4 for the rating for adults 18 to 49, and then of course the 1.71 million viewers. So almost 2 million viewers. That's pretty strong for the start. But going back to the first article, there is unfortunately some bad news for Superman and Lois. Now, the show started really good, but that doesn't mean it's going to be without its problems. So if you already consider yourself a fan of the CW's newly launched Superman and Lois series, you're about to find yourself confronting both good and bad news. So the show offers a fresh and unique perspective on one of the most famous couples in comic book history. Can you guys guess who the couple is? Couldn't be Clark Kent and Lois Lane, could it? Who chose a domestic life and returned to Smallville to raise their young sons. The unique hook of portraying Clark and Lois's relationship in a small-town, family-friendly environment appears to have been enough to entice fans. For me, this was definitely a draw-in. I felt like, even though it's characters we already know what happens in their lives, we already kind of have this general idea of them. I thought that this could have been a very cool, unique, viewpoint of their relationship. And it says, Superman and Lois is off to a tremendous start since its premiere on February 23rd, setting a new streaming record for the network. Well, I don't want to insult the CW too much, but the CW's ratings have never been amazing. Walker definitely was a very big launch for them, and Superman is also a big launch for them. But we're talking about the CW here. We're not talking about, I don't want to insult the CW too much, but we're not talking about like a giant network. CW is pretty big. But it says the good news is that thanks to the series' rapid popularity, the CW has already picked it up for a second season, one of the fastest second season renewals in the network's history. This isn't very surprising. Hey, if you're a fan of the show, I mean, that's awesome. At least right now I'm a fan of the show. I think that this is pretty good news. This is pretty cool. This could turn out to be pretty good. But unfortunately, there's some bad news, because the bad news is that despite execs moving quickly to secure the renewal, the show's run on the network has temporarily been put on hold. Yup, you get something good. It's like tease. They tease you, oh my gosh, look at this good, amazing show that we actually put money and effort into, and bang, it's put on hold. So that might come as a surprise to those of you who are just getting hooked, and let's take a look at why it's facing delays. So unfortunately, Superman and Lois is the latest TV series to face the reality of the COVID pandemic. We know that COVID's been affecting literally every industry, the gaming industry, the entertainment industry. Tons of movies and TV shows have been put on hold because of delays, whether it's because of, filming locations, or whether it's because of staff and they're trying to social distance and put all of these regulations in place. But this is unfortunately the next show to be facing delays because of COVID. So getting a new TV series off the ground is a big enough challenge as is, When you factor in an unprecedented global pandemic, this can't be an easy time period for showrunners. Just ask the team. After having to pause production on the first season, they are now facing some post-production delays, which will force the CW to temporarily cease airing new episodes after episode 5 at the end of March. This is so disappointing for me because I thought that it was a good start. I thought that it was a strong start. I thought to myself, wow, this could be like a really good CW show. And the show could definitely still be good. I'm not saying just because it's delayed means, oh my gosh, I'm not going to watch it. It's going to be bad, awful, whatever. But as someone who is just giving the show a chance and trying to get hooked on the show and give it a fair shot, it's still disappointing to see. So it says, given that 5 episodes of Superman and Lois will have aired by the time it goes on its temporary hiatus, fans will have had more than enough time to get familiar with the series and its creative approach to the iconic comic book characters. So it will probably be a bummer to have to press pause just when the show's momentum is ramping up. I do think that this actually could really hurt the show. Obviously, if they need the time, they need to delay it. Like, they can't just rush out a TV show. They can't just rush out content. But I think that when you start to air something and it gets really good and people are really interested in it, to pause it for a month and a half, that could really damage viewership numbers. And obviously you're gonna see some sort of decline no matter what when you're going from the first premiere episode of a show to like episode 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to see some sort of viewership decline. That is inevitable most of the time in 90% of cases. But to have it go on hiatus from March 25th to May 18th is a pretty big gap. That could be something, an amount of time that could really actually hurt the success of this show. And they have already renewed it for season 2 just because of the astounding starting numbers, the premiere numbers, which I'm glad to hear. But unfortunately, they are, going to be going on hiatus from March 25th to May 18th. And in the meantime, the final season of the CW's popular series Supergirl will air in Superman and Lois's Tuesday time slot. There were like theories that maybe there wasn't actually production delays and they were trying to get people interested in the final season of Supergirl, so they figured that they'd pause Superman and air Supergirl for the last season, for the last 6 episodes, and then go back to Superman because people maybe would give it a chance because they liked Superman and Lois so much. I personally, with seeing the statements that they've made, don't really believe that, because we're not talking about how sometimes we'll see situations like this, but we're not talking about a situation where they had already announced a release date for Supergirl and they announced that Superman, was going from X date to Y date. We're not talking about that type of situation. While they did announce, obviously, the start date of Superman, and they started Superman, we never had a release date for Supergirl, so it genuinely sounds like they were kind of keeping Supergirl on backup in case something went wrong, and unfortunately, it didn't go the way they anticipated, and it did go wrong, so now they're deciding to air Supergirl in the Superman and Lois time slot. Ultimately, I hope that the show continues to be good. I will keep you all updated with my thoughts on it, but I thought the first couple of episodes were pretty decent. I am really disappointed to see that they're going to be putting it on hiatus for a couple of weeks, especially because it just aired and we're finally starting to get into it. But at the same time, COVID is messing up a lot of industries and a lot of projects right now, so I do understand why they had to do it. I'm still just kind of disappointed that this is happening, but I'm also glad to hear that they already renewed it for season 2, and I hope that the story continues to go well and it's not just like the first couple of episodes are really good and then the rest of the season's really bad, because we could see that happen. But I will keep you all updated with my thoughts on the show. So that's all that I really had to discuss with Superman and Lois. We will move on to WandaVision in a minute. Spoiler alert, in case you guys haven't watched WandaVision yet. I'm assuming a lot of you have, whether it's on Disney Plus or alternate means of watching. How do I say that? Alternate methods, possibly and potentially. But we'll talk about WandaVision in just a minute. I'm not going to go too in depth with my thoughts. Like, I'm not going to analyze every single episode, but I want to give you guys my overall thoughts on the show, because I did watch it. I did stick it out and finish it. I mean, it's hard to not stick it out and finish a show that's only got a couple of episodes that are very short amounts of time. We're talking about the first, 3 or 4 episodes were literally 20 minutes long. And we're not talking about the 8 minutes of credits either. 20 minutes and then the 8 minutes of credits. Oh. Those credits were killer. So killer. Let me read chat. Not all TV shows or streaming series have to be binge watched. Certain shows like The Mandalorian and Game of Thrones are better watched as weekly episodes, whereas Stranger Things is a binge series. I'm personally someone who likes the option to watch all the episodes at once if I want. I like being able to gauge myself based on if I'm enjoying it or not. Like, let's look at Queen's Gambit. I literally watched Queen's Gambit in the span of like 2 days or a day. Queen's Gambit was really great. I really loved the fact that I could binge it. I was very entertained with it. I was very encapsulated with it. I was very fascinated by it. I thought that it was a great show. But something like Game of Thrones, I would agree that I would rather watch it on a weekly basis, or once every couple of days. But at the same time, I prefer having the option to be able to watch it when I want and be able to judge for myself. But yeah, that's just me. I liked Wanda's Scarlet Witch costume, but I felt they toned it down so it was less controversial. Ooh, I don't think so. If you look at one of her original Scarlet Witch outfits, that's literally just like a full red bodysuit, arms covered, legs covered, chest covered. She even had a hood. So her hair was even covered at one point. I mean, she was as covered up could get. Captivated. Encapsulate, captivate, enthralled. Those are all good words. Yeah, I think I was thinking of a mix of basically those two words. Yeah, captivated, enthralled. Both good words. But I wouldn't agree that they toned down her outfit. Honestly, I'm just gonna say I think her outfit was like 10 times better than what her outfit's been in the MCU. I felt like she always just looked so thrown together, and I feel like she doesn't look thrown together anymore. I feel like she actually looks like a superhero or a supervillain now. Alright guys, it's time for a spoiler alert. Okay, so basically, WandaVision was okay. So WandaVision started out really interesting in my opinion. I'd put up a video on it when the first 3 episodes had aired, or the first 2 episodes had aired. I liked the sitcom aspect to it. I got a lot of the references. I watched a lot of those shows like Bewitched and I Love Lucy. So I was really someone who enjoyed that aspect to the show. I really liked the sitcom jokes that they throw in there, and then you're going through, you know, the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. But I felt like when it started to go very textbook Marvel, it really lost a lot of its shine for me. It got very lackluster. Now, I was someone who did say that the show needed to go in more of a textbook Marvel direction, because while the sitcom thing was cool and it was funny for a couple of episodes, ultimately I didn't see a show going anywhere solely based on that content. It needed that classic Marvel formula, but it needed to implement that classic Marvel formula in a way that was unique, and it was outside of the box, and it was interesting and fascinating. And I felt like WandaVision did that at certain points. And then I felt like we were leading up to the end of the season. I've already said spoiler alert. We're leading up to the end of the season, and then Agatha Harkness is like, it's been me all along. okay? I've been the villain, and they set her up as the villain. And I think that Agatha Harkness is a cool character. Agatha Harkness in the comics, past iterations of her that we've seen, she's a cool character. And they definitely went with a unique approach for her in this. But I felt like that was it. It was her. That's a big problem for me. Was Agatha Harkness was cool, but they give her one scene and that's it. And Agatha Harkness is not a character that you could like say, oh, she's just some cosmic witch and that'd be it. She's a very detailed, in-depth character that's been around for a very long time. She is a character with a lot of backstory and a lot of history. And I felt like they could have explained who she was a little bit better without taking 2 hours to explain who she was. So in the show, you got one scene of her at the Salem witch trials, and that was it. That was supposed to be her backstory. When you're setting her up as kind of the villain in a show, even though the episodes were short, we needed some kind of better backstory, because we do see the progression of her finding out who Scarlet Witch is and like how Wanda did everything, because we're seeing the flashbacks of her or of Wanda as like a child. We're finding out her history, and then we see her experience with the Mind Stone, and all of that was really good. But then Agatha's just kind of there and is like, wow, so that's how you did it. You're not really a mutant. This is chaos magic, and it's a cool concept, but you don't feel that connection to Agatha, because while she's been there throughout the series and she's been like the nosy neighbor, they didn't hint enough that she wasn't just going to end up being the nosy neighbor. They didn't give you enough backstory like, oh hey, something's going on with Agatha. Besides the episode where the kids are born, where Wanda's kids are born, you don't know that it's going to be Agatha. And that was the episode you find out before you find out who Agatha was. A big problem that I have with a lot of shows now, and a big problem that I have with this show, it's just too short. We're talking about a couple of episodes, and the first 3 episodes of WandaVision were 20 minutes each to 25 minutes each. We didn't see enough content. I did like the ending for Wanda. Let me put it this way. I thought the ending was very lackluster, but the post-credit scene, because there were 2 post-credit scenes, the post-credit scene where we see Wanda with the Darkhold is super interesting, because that leaves us on a cliffhanger, because we don't actually know, is she going to be the villain? Is she going to be the good guy? What's going to happen with Wanda now? Because I personally feel like they're setting Wanda up to be a villain. I think they're setting her up to be a bad guy. And obviously when she's got the Darkhold, you know that something's going on. You know that shit's about to get real. She's got her real Scarlet Witch outfit now and her real Scarlet Witch costume. But it left us on a cliffhanger because we don't know if she's going to be the good guy. We don't know if she's going to be the bad guy. But before we read this article, I want to tell you all, Elizabeth Olsen, the actress that plays Wanda, did an interview with Jimmy Fallon like a week ago. And this is big spoilers for the MCU. Spoiler. She let it slip that she is filming Doctor Strange and that she's been filming Doctor Strange. So it sounds like she's going to be, I don't want to say a giant part of Doctor Strange, but it definitely sounds like she's going to have quite a bit to do with Doctor Strange. And one thing that I really didn't like about WandaVision is that they're setting her up to be stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme. Now I get it. When it comes to Scarlet Witch is strong. Scarlet Witch isn't just some like moody teenage character that has these random powers. She can move objects. We're not talking about that type of character. Scarlet Witch is a very strong character. But she's not as strong as Doctor Strange. She's not as strong as the Sorcerer Supreme. And he definitely isn't as strong without the Time Stone, because that was also a big part of his character in the MCU so far. But having Agatha say, "You're stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme." Bitch, where? I get that they're both very powerful characters. And Scarlet Witch is powerful. But she's not as strong as the Sorcerer Supreme. But I wanted to quickly read through this article. I just kind of wanted to skim it. So it says a decent but disappointing ending. That's how I describe the ending of WandaVision. It was decent. It was a little bit disappointing, though. I needed them to just do something right for once and just have a character in the show besides Wanda and Vision. We needed to see someone like Doctor Strange. We needed not just a name drop. And that's all we got was a name drop. I'm sick of these name drops and like these subtle hints towards characters. Give me the character. Just show his face. He only has to appear for 3 minutes. But we didn't get it. We didn't get the character drop. We only got a couple of name drops. So it says, WandaVision may be Wanda's artificial sitcom reality/coping mechanism, but the dangers in it are very real. Agatha Harkness, an ancient witch and current wielder of the Darkhold, intends to drain Wanda's abilities from her. For the citizens of Westview, it means a chance to regain their freedom as Agatha gains unlimited power. But for Swords director Hayward, it's also an opportunity to attack using his rebooted weapon, the Vision. That was also another problem. Where did White Vision go? Where did Vision Reborn go? Obviously, the Vision that was created by Wanda did disappear. But where did that Vision go? The Vision that was recreated by director Hayward, the White Vision, where did he go? He literally just like looked up and said, I have to investigate more. And that's it. We don't hear about him. They don't hint to where he goes. We don't hint to what he's doing. He makes the Theseus reference, but that's it. So it says, as her own recreated Vision enters the fray against his real-life counterpart, Agent Monica Rambeau learns more about Pietro's recasting, and with Wanda's understanding of the consequences of her actions and battling forces beyond her comprehension, it's time for her own series finale. But will it have a happy ending, or will WandaVision be canceled permanently? So it says, it's probably fair to say that plenty of people will be disappointed by the ending of WandaVision for a lot of different reasons. After all, as a traditional Marvel product, it doesn't provide anywhere near the spectacle that fans would expect. I don't necessarily agree with this angle. I don't think that every Marvel show has to be the biggest, best, over-the-top series or creation. I just think that it needs to not leave you with so many cliffhangers, and I think that the end cliffhanger was suitable. I think the end cliffhanger was okay, because it's her with the Darkhold. You don't know what's going on with her. There's the 2 different versions of her. One's basically in her astral form, which I thought was interesting. We don't know exactly how she was doing it, but it was like in Doctor Strange with the astral forms. It basically looked like that. It was the same animation and everything, because you could also see it looked like shattered glass around her. Anyway, it says, regardless of the impressions some people may have of them, Marvel films have never been all about the action. I do agree with that. I don't necessarily think it needs to be all about the action, but at the same time, I felt like it was just a very mediocre ending. It says, in terms of story, this one doesn't hold up the minute you start scrutinizing it. Unfortunately, it also doesn't help when the show appears to troll some of its own primary audience, while simultaneously asking them for a leap of faith. So it says other issues arise. For a show which started off with so much creativity, it became a humdrum, while the finale of WandaVision had Westview play a visual game of jump rope with its sitcom-era settings. There was no artistic tweaking of the audio to create a Lynch-style show of disturbing laugh tracks, musical cues. We're talking about, like, ambient music. We're talking about those cinematic moments. It also talks about the horror elements. The horror elements of the show, subtly present since the start, barely got a mention beyond one disturbing moment, and the episode failed to properly address the underlying themes. That's my big problem with WandaVision. Now, the rest of the article basically talks about what I talked about, how it ends with the Darkhold, and the story with Darkhold and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that was a big problem for me with this show. It felt very, like there was a very big disconnect, because the start was super sitcom, only sitcom, no cracks, no flaws, and then we see the reality start to fall apart, but then it just kind of dies off completely. It would have been so cool if during that end scene where Agatha and Wanda were fighting, if like reality kept warping. Like their costumes kept changing, and like how Westview looked underneath them kept changing. I get that shows only have such a big budget, but the budget for this show was massive, just like all of the other Marvel shows that are coming out. And I felt like visually they could have done so much more. And I felt the music was very lackluster. I felt like the story itself was okay, but we needed a big character, and we didn't get a big character. We needed to see Doctor Strange. We needed that, and we didn't unfortunately get that. So it left me, at least, with wanting a lot for the show. And I'm glad that we're finally seeing the Scarlet Witch. We're not just seeing Wanda Maximoff anymore. We're seeing the Scarlet Witch. She's got the Darkhold. That's a super cool thing. Like, that could be very cool. They could put her in a villain role next. They could put her in a hero role next. But we don't know where they're going to go. So I don't want to make too many assumptions. It just was a decent but disappointing ending. When you're invested in a show and suddenly you get a twist 2 episodes before the last, and there's such little content to wrap up the story, it just felt very compressed. That's a big problem for me. When TV shows are too short or movies are too short and you don't have enough time to tell your whole story, things get conjumbled in translation, things get mixed in translation, and it just doesn't turn up to be a satisfying ending. And I think the chemistry of Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are fucking fantastic. I think that those two characters are so good together, or those two actors are so good together, but I felt like overall it was okay. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Yay, she reads a book at the end. Yay, she reads a book that she can summon to the dark dimension where fucking Dormammu is. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. NGL, not gonna lie. The Darkhold is so fucking cool. We could see the Elder God Chthon in this shit. We could see Chthon in the MCU. That is cool. But we don't know if we're gonna see that, because we probably won't. We could see Mephisto up in this shit, but we probably won't. We'll probably get like subtle hints, like, oh, this guy, Mephisto. We'll hear like 3 references to him. And then at the end, we're just gonna be fighting Doctor Doom. We're gonna be fighting someone random. Maybe we'll just be fighting Wanda by the end of this. We don't know. But the Darkhold is actually very cool, and don't underestimate the Darkhold.
$11.
Thank you for the $11, Oran.
Jumbled is bad jumbled.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Paul Bettany's a great actor. It's strange he's not bigger than he is. Paul Bettany, I don't know if you know this, but he's an actor that doesn't... I don't want to say he doesn't like to act, but he doesn't like to take on a lot of roles. He is someone that said he's very dedicated to like 1 or 2 characters at a time. And Vision has been one of his main roles, and he's been someone that's been very dedicated to Marvel. And I think that's good. I think that's fine. I wouldn't say wokeness took over WandaVision, because I thought that Wanda was a very bad character in the MCU because they wrote her in a very bad way. Scarlet Witch has always been such an amazingly cool character, and I always felt like they butchered her in the MCU. And I'm glad that they're finally giving her the chance to be a cool character and actually be the Scarlet Witch, but they need to do it right, and I'm worried that they're not going to do it right. And they could make her the villain, and it'd be cool. They could make her the hero, and it'd be cool. We don't know what they're going to do yet. I got my money. Mephisto. Yeah, I said Mephisto. Yeah, I said that. I think that they're gonna go with the villain, though. I put my money on villain. Just because she's got the dark hold. Something's gonna happen. Big, shiny red lights. I'm the Scarlet Witch now. Hire me, Marvel. Wanda is not the... Then what's the woke aspect? I didn't really see anything that I would say was, like, super woke in WandaVision. Mandalorian had a better ending. What do you mean the Mandalorian? Like season 3? I mean season 2? Mephisto may offend China's delicate sensibilities. Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? Would they have the balls to make a woman a villain, though? I mean, honestly, I hope so. She'd be one cool villain. Imagine when Doctor Strange puts her into the trance and, like, she's destroying everything and he finally says enough is enough. I like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is probably... Do I want to say my favorite MCU character? It'd probably be, like, Doctor Strange, Loki, Thor. Probably. I don't know. They're all very... maybe Thor, Doctor Strange, Loki. I don't know. Very good characters, though. The way that they've been written in the MCU has been pretty decent, but we'll have to see what happens. Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out next week. I don't have much... If woke was subtle, then what the hell was the problem? I mean, people can still point out things that are woke. It doesn't mean that they're not there just because they're subtle. But next week, Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. Man, I don't really like Falcon. I don't really like Captain America. I don't really like Bucky Barnes. I'll watch it, I guess. I'll give it a chance, maybe. But maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll rejuvenate my interest. Well, it can't rejuvenate something that was never there. Maybe it'll get me interested in these characters. It could be okay. I'll still watch it and try to give it a chance. I just have a bad feeling about it. Unless they drop some, you know, banger bombshells for Phase 4. I'll just be like, okay. We'll see that. We'll see. I don't watch TV or any streaming services. I feel lonely on this stream. Hey, it's okay. I mean, I've basically said what happens in WandaVision. It was okay. I would say WandaVision was like a... See, I balance between a 6 and a 7 because I feel like the beginning was strong. The beginning was a 7, and then I feel like it dipped to like a 6. And I feel like literally the post credit scene made it a 7. The post credit. Not even the last episode. I think the element of the witches and the covens and maybe the ladies of ladies of liberty, is that what they're called? Agatha Harkness's group of females, but like Shuri's part of it, and Wanda. I think that would be really cool, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Agatha Harkness is a cool character. Agatha's cool, and her song is a banger. Go buy it on iTunes. Okay, maybe don't buy it on iTunes, but her song is a banger. I played that shit on repeat. It was pretty good, though. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next article. There's 2 more topics I want to discuss tonight. This one's going to be pretty quick. This one's not going to take very long. It's just more stupid Disney being stupid.
Or an X donated $11.
But we'll see.
Banger, someone's been playing too much Fuse.
Bang, yeah. Thank you for the $11 donation, Oron. Much appreciated. Thank you. It was a pretty okay series, guys. I thought that the chemistry between Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, or Wanda and Vision, I thought that they obviously carried the show, and I think that their performances are so amazing. WandaVision is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I'd give it probably a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. If Doctor Strange had showed up at all, would have been way better. Or any kind of big character. It could have been Thor, could have been Loki, could have been not Captain Marvel. But could have been any of these characters. Oh, and then the Ralph Boner thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not gonna get on that rant. But the Pietro thing, where his name is Ralph Boner, and they literally did that shit just to make a boner joke. Snooze fest. Oh my, that was so stupid. We could have been like, multiverse, action. No, they're just like, haha, boner. Lame. I want to see the Vision / White Vision battle. I don't know what's going to happen with White Vision. I don't know where that story's going to go. Probably he'll just maybe become a villain as well. Maybe Wanda will find him. Who knows? I think that could be good as well. Yeah, everyone, boner. I can't believe they did that. So stupid. Yeah, the Quicksilver thing, I agree, Chris, makes it lose a lot of points for me. That was so dumb. You had a chance. You could have made something so cool there. And instead they laugh it off. Haha, boner. Captain Marvel's the most powerful character in the all-known universe. Oh yeah, that's it, 007. Captain Marvel. I hope she disappears and never comes back. Alright, you guys, so we're going to go over the next article pretty quickly. I only wanted to briefly cover this situation. I talk about Gina Carano all the time, it seems like, and rightfully so. I do it because I think that it's a very important situation to highlight. But ever since Gina Carano was fired from Star Wars and The Mandalorian, Disney and Lucasfilm has been getting smashed on social media. All of their posts have been ratioed. Any type of videos, tweets, Facebook posts, whatever it may be, everything that they've put online has gotten ratioed. They have not had any chance to take a breath, any chance to relax, and honestly, I'm glad. Companies deserve to understand the power that fans have, and we're allowed to voice our opinions when we're upset about something like this. Gina Carano got fired simply for putting her opinions on social media, and she did even admit that there are many other people at Lucasfilm who have been bullied by the company, and unfortunately, she couldn't mention any names because she doesn't want to get anyone else fired and get anyone else in trouble. But Star Wars fans share their support for Gina Carano on Star Wars official Facebook page post for International Women's Day. Sorry, I was reading chat. That was a blank for me. You guys are putting your theories in chat, and I'm like, oh no, everyone's already excited for Phase 5 of Marvel. We haven't even gone to Phase 4 yet. Anyway, Star Wars fans shared their support for former Mandalorian actress Gina Carano on an International Women's Day post on the official Star Wars Facebook page. Guys, it was International Women's Day. Come on, guys, appreciate your local woman, okay? I personally think that things like International Women's Day, while they can bring positive attention to organizations, I feel like most of the time, unfortunately, it's just all PR bullshit talk for companies. Most of the time, companies aren't really posting about organizations that legitimately make change, whether it's on International Women's Day or International Men's Day or International Cats and Dogs Day. But the official Star Wars Facebook page posted an excerpt from Star Wars Women of the Galaxy celebrating Leia Organa. I love Leia. I think she's a great character. I think she's always been a great character. She is a strong female character that I'm glad we saw a lot of, which I wish that we'd see more of. But the excerpt reads, Leia Organa's fearless bravery, intelligence, sharp wit, and commitment to fighting galactic tyranny makes her an inspiration not only to the rebellion, but to generations of Star Wars fans around the world. She's the embodiment of hope from her first scene, where she's evading Darth Vader to send the plans for the Death Star to someone who can help. It continued, the first female lead in the galaxy far, far away. She's at the center of the saga. She's a rebel, a princess, a senator, general, a hero. She's a power player and would be without her title or force sensitivity. The thing here is that they kind of make it, you can clearly tell that they're trying to push, hey, it's Women's Day, look at this character, she's a good character you all like, right? Because they know if they posted any other character, we'd scrutinize the character. There are very few surprisingly good characters in Star Wars that are female when you really look at the movies that have been made. Rey, not a lot of people like Rey. She's a pretty bad character. They never brought in any like really cool extended universe characters like Darth Talon or something. We never got any of those characters. We know that they're not going to promote a character in a video game like characters from, let's say, KOTOR. We know that they're not gonna, post about Satele Shan and all those characters, so the only character they have to fall back on is Leia. But it says the post concluded, whether blasting stormtroopers or making a persuasive argument, working to install the New Republic or leading the fight against the First Order, she's a formidable leader and military strategist, and anyone who dares underestimate her learns doing so is a terrible mistake. Leia's a cool character. She's always been a cool character. I bet that they're really mad, though, that they can only promote Leia anymore and they can't promote their own creations like Rey, because you know that they wish that they could post about Rey right now. You know that they wish that they were like, oh my gosh, we all love Rey. We know that they wish that they could post about their own character. Darth Talon's too sexy? Yeah, I guess she is. Rey was rubbish? Yeah, Rey is trash. But of course it says in the comments, Star Wars fans celebrated Gina Carano and her character Cara Dune, who was fired by Lucasfilm. Oh yeah, you guys promote, females and strong independent females, whether it's on screen or off screen, behind the camera or in front of the camera, yet you hire females for their opinions. Wow, hypocrisy much? So Lucasfilm and Star Wars spokesperson announced Carano was fired and no longer working with the company, and then proceeded, it says, to lie about her. And then, of course, they do share the tweet or the post that was kind of the tipping point, the straw to break the camel's back for Lucasfilm. And this was it wasn't a tweet, it was a post on Instagram. The post that they finally decided to say, apparently, enough is enough. But if we go down a little bit, it says, someone said, Jim Riley said, you know who else is brave, intelligent, sharp-witted, and committed to fighting tyranny in real life, as well as on screen? And then it, of course, linked to a gif of Gina Carano, aka Cara Dune. Someone else said fearless bravery, intelligence, sharp wit, and commitment to fighting galactic tyranny to make her an inspiration. Star Wars Women of the Galaxy, 100 likes. Someone else, Cara Dune was a strong woman as well. I agree. I think that Cara Dune, the character herself, was a really good character. I thought that she was interesting. Yeah, I felt at times they could have fleshed her character out more, but she was only in, a couple of episodes realistically. She was more in season 2 than in season 1. But I thought that they definitely could have continued to build on her character and make her character very fleshed out and really write her a deep backstory. And I do agree that in chat, Jyn Erso was also a pretty good character. But again, they never did anything with Jyn besides the one movie. So someone else said Star Wars when they opt to fire strong independent women rather than trying to help prop them up. And it's, of course, another meme. People are memeing on the fact that they're saying we promote, women empowerment and we love women, yet they are just fired a couple of weeks ago a woman for posting opinions on social media. Whether you agree or disagree with them, it's free speech. She didn't, try to incite hate. She didn't try to get an angry mob going or anything. She didn't try to incite violence. Even if you disagree with her opinions or the posts that she's made, you should be still defending free speech. So someone else said, you mean like the kind of tyranny you showed by firing Gina Carano, a strong woman? The ring's hollow in a poor attempt to save face. That said, Leia and Carrie Fisher were awesome. The Empire has destroyed Alderaan twice now. I think that this is hilarious. They thought that they could just go back to normal, that there would be no problems, no questions, that they could fire her, everyone would move on, and no one is going to just move on, and I'm glad. Companies deserve to get a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. They deserve to be questioned and scrutinized when they do something dumb like this, when they are saying, we support women and empowerment. Yet they've done this. They fired Gina Carano for just having her own opinions that unfortunately didn't fit into their narrative or push what they wanted to push, so they ended up firing her. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that. I will continue to talk about situations arising with Gina Carano. I still think that it's important to highlight. I did even do a video like 2 hours ago on Bob Chapek's hollow hypocritical statements, where at Disney Investors Day, he basically refused to acknowledge Gina Carano's existence, and link that in chat in a minute or two. So with that being said, in just a minute, we're going to move on to the final article of the night. Well, there's 2 articles to go along with this topic, but the second one is only going to be briefly read. But I still think that it's pretty important to point out. I think that it's pretty important to bring up. But there's been a bit of Twitch controversy again, guys. Listen, there is always Twitch controversy. This company, no matter what they do, it turns to a pile of garbage. Twitch, they could say anything. They could say the moon is real and people would be mad at them. And I think it's hilarious because they are a company that deserves all the criticism that they get, truly, because they're a company that doesn't implement their rules fairly, punishments fairly. They do what they want. Their moderators do what they want, when they feel like it. Their company is very unstructured. The way that they handle situations is very unstructured. And as a content creator, I don't appreciate that. And as a viewer of people who do stream on Twitch, I don't appreciate that either. Bob Chapek is not a good guy. Let me just say that. Bob Chapek is an interesting soul who I don't like. Yeah, guys, Twitch. Twitcher.tv. Twitch. I'm still glad that Twitch exists for people who want to be able to live stream only content, and this is the platform they're on, but holy shit, I do not like the way that Twitch and their moderators act. Come on, Twitch, have some class. Oh yeah, I forgot they ain't got no goddamn class. True. Yeah, Bob Chapek is a filthy coward who filmed Mulan across the street from literal concentration camps. I mean, are we surprised? I'm not surprised. Disappointed, yes. Surprised, oh no. Not surprised. Companies do what they think will make them the most money, and if they can stay on the good side of the people who are part of one of the biggest entertainment industries, they'll do it. They will not budge. They will do their best to stay on their goddamn good graces. All right, you guys. So I wanted to talk about this new situation that arose with Twitch today, and this has been blowing up on Twitter, blowing up on social media, and I thought that it was very important to talk about, because this initially really made a lot of people mad until they realized that one of Twitch's competitors also, unfortunately, has very similar rules in place. So this is a Verge article. Twitch may be adding a brand safety score for streamers. So, cybersecurity researcher Dalam Tayari, I hope that I'm saying their name right, has found evidence in Twitch's internal API that the site plans to implement something called a brand safety score for its streamers. That score would depend on a number of criteria, like the streamer's age, a given rating by Twitch staff. What the hell does that mean, a given rating by Twitch staff? If I'm a booby streamer, do I get a higher rating? If I'm friends with someone, am I given a higher rating? Does that mean that you could literally tip the scale in someone's favor? Who knows what that means? Their ban history, the relationship the streamer has with Twitch, again, who knows what that means? Probably more so like, oh, they're in our good graces, like they're not a problem streamer or something like that. I'd assume that's what that means. Their partnership status, the ESRB rating of the games being played, and whether the stream is set to mature. So this is the tweet thread that came out. I will link it in chat in case you guys want to see it. But if Tayari's research is indeed accurate, which I'm going to say I'm leaning more towards it is accurate. And here I should note that I have reached out to Twitch and will make an update to this story if I hear back. As of right now, when I'm live streaming, Twitch has made no comments to anyone whatsoever. This would represent a shift in the way that advertisers interact with streamers on the platform. Presently, one of the main ways that marketers work with streamers on Twitch is the site's bounty board. Select partners and affiliates in the US, UK, Germany, and France who can choose from a list of paid opportunities to either play games or watch branded videos with their communities for automatic payouts. It's a pretty slick system, one that streamlines and automates the process of working with a brand and getting paid for it. I'm just gonna say, as a YouTuber, I think that this is a pretty easy system to work with. Like, this is something that Twitch has that YouTube doesn't have, that I think that if you're a content creator online, it's a good being able to just literally go to a page and look at all of these opportunities, because I've never taken any sponsorships from companies, but like, you have to sift through emails and read their offers, and it's not as easy as a lot of people might think. But when it comes to having like a bounty board or a website where people could literally just click, oh, hey, I want to watch your video, or hey, I want to watch your, or I want to play your game. That's a very easy system that a lot of Twitch streamers really do like, and a huge reason why a lot of people decide to partner on Twitch instead of YouTube. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that, but there are a lot of YouTubers who decide to stream on Twitch, and this is a big reason why, from what I've heard, because it's so easy to get partnerships and brand deals and things like that. But it says it's not hard to imagine that if Twitch does in fact implement a brand safety score for streamers, that it would be used to expand the bounty program, and it seems like a useful thing for brands to be able to compare streamers on that specific axis at least. Then again, for streamers, it does mean that the site is tracking you on yet another metric that may or not be, or may or may not, geez Louise, may or may not be available for you to see. Now, I think that it's ridiculous that these companies put systems in places, whether they, to judge you, whether to think that you're good enough or not to get more opportunities than another person, whether it's sponsorships or ads. And as a creator, these things, specifically on YouTube, aren't things that you know about or can change when it comes to metrics and these type of safety scores, because YouTube actually, in 2019, this was announced, YouTube's publicly available code reveals important information, including a P score, and more creators found out. So we found out that YouTube actually had a system like this back in 2019, and instead of being a, what's Twitch calling it, brand safety score, YouTube calls it a preference score. So, as a new revelation made by some creators, YouTube has a publicly available code that reveals insights about individual channels' P-score, video ratings by YouTube, and much more. YouTube has removed part of its publicly available code to ensure maximum privacy and to stop data from falling into the wrong hands. Yes, so YouTube does have something like this, but it's not like accessible for everyone. It's not like easily accessible. We're not talking about systems that I could go to my YouTube dashboard and click and find out all of this stuff like my preference score. That doesn't exist. I can't go to my YouTube dashboard and find, oh, hey, there's this little section that says what your communist score is. So it says to understand the whole story, it is important to understand what a P-score really is. So it is an abbreviation for the preference score, which is used by YouTube as a proprietary measurement. It is because of this measurement that YouTube surfaces popular channels on its platform, and YouTube measurement relies on 5 key areas, which are P. So popularity, it looks for watch time that a creator is bringing in. Passion. What the fuck is that? It checks how much YouTube users are engaged with the content. It's funny. Passion. It's just the word. I understand what they're trying to say, but passion, really. Protection. It sees for the content advertisers' friendliness. Platform, it reviews the platforms on which the content is being watched, for instance, on phones, TVs, or other devices and websites. Let's say if you clicked on my Twitter link and you watched it there, or Reddit and you watched it there, Discord, you watched it there, etc. And then production, it depicts the quality of the content that is being posted on the channel. So yeah, this is very important to point out that YouTube already has had a system like this in place for a very long time. It is something that was for a little while public. Like, you could publicly find your P-score, and now you can't anymore. But headed back to the Twitch article, I wanted to click on the initial tweets really quickly just to show you all again the scope of this situation. So we've got every streamer is based on things like chat behavior, ban history, manual ratings by Twitch staff, games played, age, auto mod, and more. It says Twitch a couple of days ago added to their GQL internal API endpoints for a brand safety score, which is sent to advertisers for ads, sponsors, and probably for bounty purposes. It says the full list of factors that Twitch is tracking are things like age, whether the streamer is 18 plus, 21 plus, or not. Manual rating given by Twitch staff. Again, we don't know what the hell that means, a manual rating given by Twitch staff. I guess if you piss someone at Twitch off, they can lower your score. If they have someone that looks at scores a lot, or they have a score team, maybe they put your score up and down. I don't know what that means. Ban history, relationship the streamer has with Twitch. I'm guessing, again, that means like you're in positive standpoints with them, or you're not. Like, you've had a lot of bans, you're a trouble person or something like that. Auto mod, whether or not auto mod is enabled and what level it is. Partnership status, the ESRB rating of the games being played, whether or not the stream is set to mature or not. It seems like Twitch's system is way more in depth, but at the same time, both platforms, we know this, both platforms throttle channels. Twitch throttles channels, YouTube throttles channels, and I have a feeling Twitch is definitely going to be throttling channels more. You know, things like P-scores do throttle people's content. It's the reason why a channel like mine, it's a reason like a channel like mine, you know, doesn't blow up, but some random channel that YouTube deems family friendly explodes. That's why, because you have things like behind the scenes P-scores, and I can't see if my content is good enough for YouTube, what YouTube likes about my content, what YouTube doesn't like about my content. It's why people talk about being shadow banned a lot, because when you're putting up consistent content, you'd assume your channel would do really good. You assume that you'd be getting average views, you'd be going up, and we have to consider these platforms have so many users. Like, let's look at YouTube, but at the same time, there's no way to look at your P-score on YouTube and say, oh wow, this doesn't look good. You know, YouTube doesn't like that I'm doing X, Y, and Z, so I can change them. It doesn't work that way. It hasn't worked that way, and they definitely like have little tool tips on YouTube, like, oh, you could try adding different tags, or you could try, you know, putting ads a little bit later in your video so people watch more of the content, all of that. But that's like very basic beginner knowledge when it comes to YouTube. But yeah, we don't know the extent of the whole entire Twitch situation, or the Twitch brand safety score for streamers, but we do know it is something that they are starting to implement. It is something that is active as of right now. Twitch has not made any statements on it, but if Twitch makes any statements, I will definitely be talking about this again. But yeah, that's all that I really had to talk about in tonight's stream, you guys. We talked about Star Wars and Gina Carano, we talked about Twitch, we talked about WandaVision, and we also talked about Superman and Lois. For a couple of minutes, I'll be hanging around stream. If you guys have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to put them into the chat now. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have. And if you're here and you're a supporter, hi, how are you doing? Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a supporter-only live stream. I did talk about it a little bit in the supporter-only chat in Discord, but if you're a supporter, I will, of course, post tonight a little bit about it on Patreon, and I will also share the link there with you guys tomorrow. But check out the Discord if you're not part of it already. And if you're a supporter, go to the supporter chat in Discord, because I did mention it. But tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a supporter-only live stream. I've got a special game lined up. You guys will have to wait and see what it is. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, Twitch never stop being trash. Yeah, Twitch is a very trash platform at this point. What's the music in the background? I will share the link. It is a hour and 28-minute long compilation from White Bat Audio. His music is very good. It's copyright free, which obviously if you're listening to it at home, then it doesn't matter, but copyright free, really great music. I play it almost every stream now. I should also move over to some of his other tracks, because he does some really good tracks. But yeah, that's the link. Do you play Quake? I haven't played Quake in a very long time. No. Fun though. Quake is fun. Sounds like Big Brother to me. Yup. I find all of these mechanics behind YouTube and Twitch very boring. I don't care how hot dogs are made. Yes, but it's like if you have a favorite creator, then if you want to support them, then it's good to just listen to those situations. And I get it. Like, I don't talk about my YouTube channel a lot when I'm like in a stream or even in videos. Like, of course I talk about, like, if you want to support, there's links in the description. And you can check out Patreon, join our Discord, check out my Twitter, my Minds, follow me on social media. And I do occasionally talk about how YouTube does suppress channels, but I'm not someone who, like, talks about it all the time. Because I know that, you know, some people genuinely don't care, but I think that if you care about the future of platforms like Twitch and YouTube, it's important to listen to those videos every once in a while. Valheim, I will not be doing Valheim for the supporter-only stream now. I will not be doing Valheim for that stream, but I've been working on Valheim. I've been working on my base. It's coming together. Let me just say that. It's going somewhere. Where it's going, I'm not going to promise, but it's going somewhere. These big corporations are coming up with new ways to censor people. Oh, 100%. And it's very unfortunate. It is unfortunate. As a creator, it sucks to see situations like this happen, because as a content creator, I just want to be able to control my own content. If you're telling me there's some kind of social score, how do I access it? How do I see what my social score is? How do I see how to change it? And there's no way to do that on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube. There's no way to do that. Which sucks, because, like, if you're gonna have a system in place, at least for me, the creator, let me be able to see it and use it and utilize it, because I'm someone who would totally utilize tools if they were given to me. You guys see, I upload every day, or some kind of content goes up basically every day, whether it's a live stream or a video. I go on, you know, social media all the time, Discord. Well, not all the time, because social media does kind of suck, but I appreciate being able to have it and being able to communicate with you guys. But I'd utilize those tools, and they would matter, but these platforms don't want you to have access to the tools. Any new diagrams of the base to show us, Vera? I don't have any diagrams. No, I don't, but I could show you really quickly, like, kind of what I'm doing with my base here. So basically, for my base in Valheim, so you guys had saw this. You guys had saw, like, the beginning of the base. So basically, I've taken it out like this, and I've made it super big. And I've also made this area a little bit bigger, but I've also... Let me move it over a little bit more. But I've also started to expand outward like this. And then I'm going to put like crops over here. And I'm going to put like inventory on the inside. It's going to be real cool. Don't worry about it. It's going to be real cool. And you guys are going to go... Next time I play Valheim, you guys are going to go, oh my gosh, Vera, you are a god gamer. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to go, wow. I didn't think you were this good at video games. And I'm gonna go, I told you so. I'm just gonna do it straight out. I'm gonna tell you guys I told you so. You didn't believe me. Have a little more faith in me. How do you get your hair so vividly red? Very natural. It's natural. I was born this way. My name is Jean Grey. Google me. You'll have some of those Twitch streamers migrating to YouTube. Oh yeah, no, I definitely think that there's gonna be... I think that that's the problem, though, is that there's always a give and take. Twitch does something wrong, so Twitch streamers go to YouTube. YouTube does something wrong, so YouTubers go to Twitch. There's always that back and forth. I stay primarily on YouTube, even though I think YouTube does a lot of things wrong, and I don't agree with a lot of things on YouTube. I appreciate the platform. I think that they do more right when it comes to platforms like Twitch. Compared to Twitch, I'd much rather be on YouTube, and it gives me more options because it allows me to upload here every day. I can live stream whenever I want, and I also do have my videos going up on places like BitChute, and I'm always up for alternatives, but my main platform will probably stay YouTube. Also, is YouTube lagging for you guys? Because for some reason it's lagging on my end. Either way, I'm going to be wrapping up in a couple of minutes. Minds, I do have a Minds. It is in the description of the live stream. I have Discord there, Twitch, Minds, Instagram, Patreon, and Twitter. Check the links out. If you guys like Synthwave, check out VHS Dream. Oh, I listen to so much Synthwave. It's crazy. Crops, sure hope Vera has a green thumb. Don't worry about it, okay? I'm going to finish my base, and you guys are going to go, wow, you're a god gamer. Hope they stop. Okay, I'm gonna restart. I hope they stopped shadow banning people. Platforms are never gonna stop shadow banning people, unfortunately. No lag here. Yeah, for some reason it's showing a little bit of lag on my end, but that's how YouTube is. Why not wall your base completely, protect against those mob rushes? Oh, I'm going to. That's just like the pretty part of the base. I'm gonna outline the base with like spike, what are they called? Spike, they're not fences. Spikes. We're just gonna call them spikes. Mines is looking like the future, but I don't like the UI. I'm very iffy on Mines because of the UI. I think the Mines is cool though. The people behind Mines seem pretty nice. They seem pretty good. And I think that Mines actually follows me on Twitter. Oh no, they don't. Oh no, it's BitChute that follows me. I like Mines. I definitely think that Mines has a lot of potential. Gamer girl, I'm not just a gamer girl, I'm a gamer girl god. Have you even played Apex Legends? Nigma, I am in Plat right now. I'm moving my way to Plat 3. I've played Apex Legends once or twice. I have not attempted an animal farm in Valheim yet, no. Vera, I don't like you, but I don't think you'll become a god gamer. Okay. 1v1 me. We'll see who wins. May the best lady win. Yeah, YouTube's being weird. I don't know why. Sometimes it happens. Like and comment for the algorithm. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the live stream, give it a like. But with that being said, I am going to end stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do appreciate it. I think we had a pretty successful night talking about WandaVision, Superman, Star Wars, Twitch, tons of different topics. I had a pretty good time, but If you guys enjoyed the live stream, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Make sure to leave a comment on it after I end the live stream. If you did not see, I posted 2 new videos today. I talked about cartoon characters being canceled. I talked about, of course, Lola Bunny being censored, Pepe Le Pew being removed from Space Jams. I talked about Speedy Gonzales, and in another video, I actually talked about Disney CEO dodging Gina Carano questions at the latest Disney investor Q&A panel. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. So check out those videos. Again, if you're a supporter, go and check out supporter chat in Discord or on Patreon a little bit later. I'll have all the information up, but tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a supporter-only stream. If you're not already part of our Discord, anyone can join our Discord server, so check out the link in the description. Also, check out Twitter Minds. Consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. But with that being said, thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic evening, everyone.